disrupted.
America that I fought.
Weird thing to happen. Hello, one and all. Welcome to this edition of Kitz Corner. It's been a fantastic day so far. The morning television. Most of the time, it's, kooky and showing, your traffic highlights on the weather, and maybe they got some cooking tips or whatever. And then there's Morning Joe. There's Morning Joe on MSNBC, which is the ultimate disgrace of morning television. It's amazing that people even watch television. Or just cable television, period, at this point, because of just how nefarious it's gotten and just how propagandized and wish-washed and just malice it's become. But Morning Joe is like the staple of just how gross morning TV can get. I mean, MSNBC is already a disgrace for a cable network to begin with, but Morning Joe has definitely raised that bar even higher because they brought on Chuck Schumer. And Chuck Schumer, whose glasses are down so low that his IQ is almost dropping, he already just looks. When I see that face, I literally want to vomit. And again, that's why I give him the name Up Chuck Schumer, because all he does is verbal diarrhea. All he does is verbal diarrhea for the Democratic base, for the neoliberal establishment. And here he is on Morning Joe, announcing that this defense bill for the border, protecting our border, has to also involve Ukraine. Because if we're going to protect our borders, we got to go to another country and protect their entire nation. That's the important part. We got to do everything we can to defend other people, especially neo-Nazis, in another foreign country. That's apparently the mindset of the neoliberal order. And here's Chuck Schumer trying to defend that in the most ridiculous way possible.
We're at a turning point in America. This bill is crucial, and history will look back on it and say, did America fail itself? Why is it crucial?
By the way, did you notice he's got the United States flag on his lapel there, the little lapel pin? I haven't seen that since probably the 9/11 days, like when people used to wear that, and it's an honor to, show your patriotism, showing that you're a full, hard, blooded American that cares and for the defense of the families. I don't know why he's wearing it today. Like, I don't understand that him announcing that we need to send more to Ukraine while wearing an American flag and denying defense of our borders. Like, it's just such a topsy-turvy situation. He's wearing an American flag lapel pin to announce that we need to spend more money on foreign wars. Like, it's just so ridiculous. But here's his defense, apparently.
Well, if we don't aid Ukraine, Putin will walk all over Ukraine. We will lose the war, and we could be fighting in Eastern Europe in a NATO ally in a few years. Americans won't like that.
So he's saying that if we don't send more to Ukraine, Putin's going to walk over that nation and we will lose the war. Hold on. We as in North America, or we as in Ukraine? Because I thought it was Ukraine fighting this war. That was the whole point. Wasn't it? That they're the ones fighting this war, that we're using them like pawns because we don't want to be over there fighting Russia, so we're using Ukraine as cannon fodder. No. We would be losing this war. And by we, I mean me and my interests. Me and my stock market value are going to lose this war. Putin's just going to walk over my investments. And I can't lose my investments. I can't lose my friendly military contractors that are my golf buddies on Sunday. I can't lose that. So I'm going to put my glasses down and inform you that you, as your patriotic duty, I'm wearing the American flag, got to send more to a bunch of neo-Nazis to aid a losing war. Because everybody knows that Ukraine is losing horribly against Russia. They know it. We know it. Everybody knows it. The average fighting age for the Ukrainian army is like mid-40s, almost late 40s, because they've killed off all the kids. They are not going to win this war. They're not going to win this, period. But we got to send more money because it's an American duty that Chuck Schumer and the rest of the Democratic establishment and Republican establishment and anyone else in the military-industrial complex get their wishes. Like the world's worst Make-A-Wish program. My God.
If we don't help Israel defend itself against Hamas, that perpetual war will go on and on and on. If we don't help humanitarian aid to the starving Palestinians in Gaza.
I love how everything for the defense of the border, that was supposed to be the whole purpose of the bill, the whole purpose of the spending, why you're on camera, why you're talking about this, is just nothing more than sending more to Ukraine, sending more to Israel, sending more to here, sending more to there, to initialize more war because, war on terror is great for business. Yay! We just don't have the money to actually defend our own borders, the people that are rushing into our country. And I used to be on the fence when it came to, the border and border wall, but, at this point, at this moment, concerning the fact that we're occupying all these territories, we're creating all these, military interventions, we're storming into other countries and creating more refugees. I think when people are pouring in by the thousands and upwards of millions, you have to consider some sort of way to track and monitor who's coming in and who's coming out. Like that, it seems the most obvious thing. It's the most obvious thing at this point. When you're creating that many more refugees by proposing that we spend more on war, offensive, outrageous, manufactured war, yes, it's important to have border security. But Chuck Schumer doesn't care about the border at this point. Doesn't care because that would just go towards, keeping the wages lower, and also we'll have more people to sign up for the military. We need more enlistment. So, hey, let's just get a bunch of foreigners and sham them into the military just like we did with poor people back in the day. If you ever saw Fahrenheit 9/11, you know what I'm talking about. Standing in front of a Walmart promising a poor black teenager that they're going to get, success in the world if they enlist in the military, not realizing that they could die easily overseas. But let's just promise that to a foreigner, and then they'll fight our outrageous wars, and then we'll just scam them. We'll use them as pawns because basically we are just lab rats to these nefarious oligarchs. Anyway, let's see the rest of it.
Hundreds of thousands could starve. And the border, everyone has said it's chaos. You just saw Speaker Johnson. He said it's chaos. We have to do something legislative a few months ago. But what has happened, in answer to your question, so this is crucial for America. It's a turning point. History is going to look over our shoulders and say, did we rise to the occasion? To his credit, Mitch McConnell did. But too many Republicans, including Speaker Johnson, are just scared to death of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has said he wants chaos.
So I don't know if you're watching the graphics as he's speaking there, but it's $118 billion investment that supposedly the U.S. government is putting towards this. But look at this. Over $90 billion in foreign aid. So out of the $118 billion, I got to do the math on this. I'm not a math surgeon. But over $118 billion $90 billion is going to foreign aid. Let me bring up the calculator on this. Like I said, I'm not a math surgeon. Okay, my phone's being freaky. You can figure that out for yourself, but $90 billion in foreign aid. So if they're only proposing a tiny portion to border security, do you imagine if they spent that $90 billion in infrastructure? The roads that are collapsing in all the towns of America. You know what that would do? That would create jobs. That'd be better for the economy. That would actually make towns actually prosperous and peaceful. And maybe people would actually want to see more of America and not just witness it falling apart. Or how about $90 billion in healthcare, education? How about we actually have that money go towards helping the homeless? And most of them being veterans from the previous wars that you enacted these people into. Oh my God. This is just, it's such a disgrace. Such a disgrace. And what exactly is spending all this money, sending your tax dollars overseas, shipping it off to manufactured wars? What return does that give to you? What kind of investment? What's the good opportunity that America gets out of this? Is it going to help the family in Chicago that's struggling to put food on the table? No. It's not going to do anything for any American citizen, but it's damn good for the investment banks. It's damn good for Vanguard and BlackRock. It's damn good for Chuck Schumer and the rest of the establishment in America and Canada and all the NATO-aligned countries. It's damn good for them because they get the highest investment and we get screwed again. How many trillions of dollars have we wasted over 20 plus years of Afghanistan? And they still have not learned the lesson. Still to this day. In fact, I see some people now demanding that we go back to Afghanistan. We need to spend more money in Afghanistan because the first 20 years was not enough. Ugh.
Donald Trump has said, well, wait till I become president. That'll take at least a year. Ukraine could be gone. The border will get much worse. War in the Middle East will get worse, maybe bringing us into it. He's doing it all for political.
Then why not put more money into the border and forget Ukraine? Oh, my God. This is just... Again... I feel like they're only mentioning the border because it's an election year and they know, and people are aware, very much aware of how tense the border crisis is. They know how chaotic it is when it comes to the amount of people pouring in. They know how chaotic it is. That's the public position is, oh, we care so much about the border. Oh, we got to do something about it because it's election year. I got to pander to those people. But really deep down, they want to send as much money to slaughter people in other nations because it's a good investment for them. It's good for their pocketbooks. But you know what's not good for their pocketbooks? Actual security in our nations. They don't want us to be secure. They want us to be insecure because insecurity leads us into more chaos, and more chaos, they can capitalize off it. They want us to be in perpetual fear. They want us to be in paranoia. They want us to yell at each other. They want more criminal cartels storming into communities so they can criminalize and penalize and then capture them, throw them in incarceration, and have more private prisons for slave labor. It's all a big, giant pond. They do not care about defense. They could not care less about Ukraine. They couldn't care less about Israel or Palestine or anybody. This is all them just trying to rearrange their pocketbooks so they can get the highest investment mark. And right now, the highest investment mark is the global capital, the perpetual war machine in slaughtering in Palestine, in Gaza, and in Ukraine. But not give two shits about our border or our security or anything within America. Actually investing in your own people, which would be way better for the economy. Way better. Because then those people would have jobs, they would have security, they'd be happier, they'd be safer. We have safer towns and cities. Then those people, the middle class, would actually invest more into America. It's a cycle. Ugh. Anyway, there's more to this, but I really don't want to watch more.
Political reasons. And let me just say, will senators, the crucial question, the $64,000 question, the majority of Republican senators know this bill is the right thing to do. It's a compromise. I don't like everything in it. Neither does McConnell. But it's a compromise. That's the only way you get things important done in the Senate. We proved that 2 years ago in our bipartisan legislation. And will the senators drown out the political noise from Trump and his minions and do the right thing for America? It's a crucial question. History is looking down on every one of us.
So the big question, the big game show question that's on Chuck Schumer's mind is, will people stop listening to constituents and the Trump supporters? How dare you listen to average Americans and just go with the establishment? Can you just drown out all the noise that people are making? You know, the people are saying that we got care for veterans, our health care is in scrambles. I'm working 4 or 5 jobs and I can't afford a roof over my head or to feed my kids. Can we just ignore that noise and focus on us for once? God, I hate when people are selfless. I hate when people are so democratic that they actually listen to their voters. I, Chuck Schumer, am not that. I am one that listens to myself. I'm the one that listens to my advisors who work at global institutions used to penalize against humanity. And I can tell you for certain that this is the wisest investment. This is the great option. And I'm not happy about it, but Mitch McConnell's not happy about it. It's a bit of a compromise. And what's the American population compromising this? What did they get out of this? Nothing. What compromise is there when Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer work for the exact same lobbyists? It's not a compromise. Again, that's just the public, verbal diarrhea. That's like him claiming that he cares about the border. Blah, 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 blah. You don't. You don't care. That's why you're so peeved off. That's why you have glasses so low and squinting like, Ugh. Chuck Schumer. I wish I could laugh to this and make this as funny as possible, but at the same time, this is the guy that even when he was minority leader, still had influential power because he's like the top dog. Him, Nancy Pelosi, and Mitch McConnell, and like they are the top establishment whores that are leading this charge. They are like the pimps of the party, really, as best to describe them. And they're the ones taking control and saying that you guys stick in the line, otherwise, you're gonna find 9 ways to Sunday. The deep state's going to take you down. And they're trying to do that with Trump. They're still trying to do that with Trump. They're trying to do that with independents. They did that with RFK. They do that with everybody. And what kind of compromise is that? What do we get out of it? Nothing. It's just a big giant scam.